Do you know what vegetable I think's really underrated? Peas. They're absolutely top tier in my book, and one of my favourite times to eat them is actually at Nando's. If you're from the UK, there's a good chance that you've been to, or at the very least heard of Nando's, but if not, or if you're from further afield, Nando's is basically a casual dining chicken restaurant known for its peri-peri chicken. Along with the chicken, they sell a variety of side dishes, and one of those dishes is known as macho peas. Now, I've got no idea how they actually make those peas, but they're very tasty, and they're far more enjoyable than the bland, mushy peas that I grew up eating. When I first tried those macho peas, it got me thinking about how I could prepare peas at home to be more enjoyable, and the result was this recipe. Ingredients for the recipe are as follows, but as always, I encourage you to adapt the recipes when cooking at home to suit your own tastes, because I know what I like, but I've got no idea what you like. To make the recipe, you'll need the following. Peas, obviously. Fresh or frozen is fine, but try to make sure that the peas are whole and not mushed. Olive oil, fresh garlic, fresh mint, and then a variety of spices and seasonings. For my recipe, salt, black pepper, paprika, cayenne, crushed chili flakes, but you can absolutely add or subtract from this list. The key with seasonings is not to go overboard. We want the natural flavour of the peas to shine in this dish, with the spices providing an accent. We don't want to drown out the flavour of the peas with spice, and trial and error is the only real way to find out what suits. I'm going to start by boiling a pot of water before adding my peas. Now, notably, I'm not going to add salt to the water. We're going to be adding salt at the end when we're crushing the peas, and I don't want to oversalt the dish. These will take about 4 to 5 minutes to be cooked through, which will give me plenty of time to prepare the seasonings. Super simple here. Firstly, I'm going to chop up some fresh mint leaves, pretty finely. And then next, I'm going to crush some garlic cloves. Now, I'm actually going to crush the garlic cloves rather than chop them. The reason I'm doing that is, at the end of the day, I'm going to be using the heat of the peas to soften the garlic. And by crushing the garlic, it becomes much finer and it softens more easily when I add them to the peas. If I chop the garlic myself, I'm more likely to leave larger chunks, which might not soften completely when added to the peas. I've already pulled together the spices that I'll be using into this little bowl. I would recommend using less spice than you might imagine, as it's really easy to overpower the natural flavour of the peas. In here, as I say, I've got paprika, cayenne, black pepper and crushed chili flakes, but I'm constantly changing that spice mix in terms of components and quantities. Haven't settled on something that I think is perfect yet. Definitely don't be afraid to put your own spin on things when you're making this dish. Now that the peas are cooked through, I'll strain off the water and I'll add them back to the pot. To complete the dish, we're going to add a glug of olive oil, some coarse salt, the fresh garlic and mint along with our spice mix. At this point, you want to incorporate the seasonings into the peas by slightly mashing and mixing. You could use a fork or a potato masher or whatever you've got. You don't want to over mash at this point. We still want the peas to retain some of the structure. We're not trying to make a puree here. And realistically, that's all there is to it. These peas go great as a side dish, in particular with chicken or breaded fish, maybe cod or haddock, but they're also great on their own, and I've made these as a snack on more than one occasion. Thank you all very much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Don't forget to subscribe to see more recipes as they come out, and remember, you can cook it too.